The Twitter is not a product. The people on Twitter are the product. Yeah. We're the product. It's the reason, the reason that you want to, I get to see what is Patton Oswalt thinking. I love Patton. Yeah. If Chris Rock tweets, I'm like, holy shit, Chris Rock tweeted today. There's things that I want to see from people I like. And I have some of that, a little bit of that where they,
Well, that's people get to see up close and personal in the moment insight into famous people's minds and their lives. Yeah. Instagram is,
but also free jokes from my favorite comics. I'm fine. I love that.
Totally cool. Yeah.
I love that. I've got to write. I mean, I've written long threads of essays about like where the country is and stuff, and it gets for me. It's the dopamine hit, but it's also I get to get it out. Mm-hmm. It also helps me. I think it's helped me become a better writer. But
here's what terrified me. My sister. A lot of you guys know my sister is conservative and definitely moves in different circles than you and I do, and I love her and respect her, everything that she does.
She's awesome. Your sister's
she's amazing.
Great.
We're exactly the same person if you heard her speak or hung out with us.
Yeah.
But if we then told you our political views, you'd be like, whoa.
You'd go, huh?
And her husband, same way, like exact opposite beliefs from you. And anyway.
But he and I get along fine.
Yeah. But she told me, today we were texting and she said she's not been sleeping. And my sister she's 7 years older than I am. And she's always kind of stayed out of technology type stuff. Like I had to convince her to sign in to get a PayPal account this year. Mm-hmm. She's just not. And she was very proud of herself the first time she Zelled me money. It's like she just has always, she's got a PhD. She's kind of like, sort of, I don't want to say above it, but kind of,
different world, just a different world.
I'm this one in the family. She's the one that's like, I don't need to be on that. Well, I said, why can't you sleep? And she goes, I don't know, a combination of things. She's at Grandma Jean's and she goes, and plus she goes, I just laid in bed all night on Twitter, looking at Twitter. And I went, oh no, she got it. She started to get it. And people in the conservative world have started retweeting some of her stuff. So she's getting a lot of followers. And so she's now starting to get that hit.
Oh, I hope she doesn't follow me. Please tell her not to follow me.
No, heck no. She tried, then she unfollowed you. She said you probably needed a little bit of help or therapy or something. She agreed that you on there, knowing you personally, and certainly we know that you say your beliefs all the time loudly to anyone that will listen, like especially if you think they disagree, but your heart does not show on there at all. And I know people that only know you on Twitter probably like, this dude is an asshole and he's a blowhard and he's obnoxious.
I am more than
and
one
loud.
thing.
But at home, that's not who you are at all. You're really gentle and loving and sweet.
Here's the problem I had. The reason I became that guy on Twitter is because
I like that you talked over those. Me telling
thank you for
really
being so nice
gentle,
to me. I am nice.
Loving,
John Brown, our buddy John Brown.
He sings songs to the puppies.
Our buddy John Brown goes, hey guys, I've known this guy for 16 years. Like it's kind of a bummer when people have to go, hey man, you're getting this dude wrong. I know this dude. He's helped me through 3 or 4 different sides. But the reason that I'm like that is strident because what happened during Trump, what happened in the last 6 years was you have all these people come in and it was this barrage of bullshit. Fuck you. Trump's the best. Fuck you. And so what I did was I'm like, well, how do you counter this? Because the Democrats are horrible at it. They're fucking horrible at it. They can't figure out how to they can't message at all. They can't, they don't know. They can't pick a fucking message that's 3 words, make America great again for it. Right. They need to do that because that's the only way you turn it. So I started going, well, I'm going to start nailing everybody.
They tried Build Back Better.
I'm going to try. No, someone said you need to point out that do you want the insanity, craziness, and treason of the last administration? Is that what you want? Do you want insanity and treason? Do you? That's it. But they need to nail that. Someone said yesterday, they need to bring that up all the time. The economy tanked. We had treason and daily insanity. Is that what you want again?
I would do ads. Like if I were Biden,
we're going to start doing those.
I would do ads like that showed former Republican presidents and be like, we may not have agreed with them, but they were good men. And show good, decent.
Someday they tried,
people that maybe we don't like about? Everything they did.
Eisenhower. We have to go back to Eisenhower.
No, I mean, I know.
We got to go way back.
I know,
Lincoln.
Like, crazy. I'm not saying. I'm saying like crazy stuff. But at their heart, George Bush 1 and 2, they were not trying. Certainly, the second one was trying to make a lot of money off of oil and gas in the
first
Middle
one
East.
too.
But I'm just saying, at their heart, they weren't. going to burn down the government. They would never overthrow an election. George I lost, and he left and continued to support the government. I mean, it's like
Al Gore was just like
W lost and stayed.
Well,
right. That's what I'm saying. When you start going down this list, so Reagan hit. When Reagan happened, we needed Reagan, and I keep saying this.
The court ruled. I mean, I'm saying that went through the courts. I'm not saying they weren't done.
No, Al Gore gave it up. Al Gore did the right thing and was like, "Guys, we're not."
See, there you go. There's your whole point.
But Al Gore's a Democrat.
That's what I'm saying. Democrats don't. They just give up too easily.
Yeah. He said for the good of the country.
Like we could point out Democratic, big D Democratic presidents that we don't agree with things that they did in hindsight. You know, certainly we could look at Nixon, and
Nixon was Republican.
Shit. I've always thought he was a Democrat. Are we
serious?
No,
that's why I keep saying it. That's why I'm saying every time a Democrat. Here's what I don't. Do you want to?
Okay, hold on. Let me think of a Democrat. No, see, NAFTA.
Clinton.
We don't like that, but you. Well, we didn't like the whole blowjob debacle thing.
That doesn't. It has nothing to do with policy. Trump fucked porn stars. It doesn't have anything to do with it.
God, I'm just saying that if we point to Republican and Democratic presidents in the past. We could all agree that we don't like everything that either of them did necessarily, but we could agree that at their heart and at their core, they were people that we would give our left arm to have back instead of Trump.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a list of
My whole point is to just point out how crazy we let it go.
Yeah.
And to say, let's get back to this amount of crazy, not this much crazy.
Right.
But also, Nixon was a Republican. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't any. I mean, that's why,
Oh, of course he was a Republican.
All the
Roger
research.
Stone.
I went back through. I went back through.
I'm having a brain.
Because you remember, so we started the podcast 12 years ago, and I was talking about, and I did it because I wanted to force myself to write every week, the Armageddon Update. And then I started getting involved because I had to pay attention because I had to write every week. And I started paying attention. And people would say some shit about Republican presidents are always better. And so I would go look at that and look at the research. And I started figuring out that, holy shit, that every time back to Eisenhower, we have a Republican, the economy tanks. We have a crisis that destroys the economy, and this money doesn't disappear; it just gets shifted.
Well, money got shifted during Clinton as well.
No, it didn't.
We were booming,
right?
But now look where it's gotten us.
Oh, I would say
that's what I'm saying.
NAFTA
I mean, it's all shite.
NAFTA as a long-term plan,
and to be honest, I really liked Clinton a lot. I really kind of had a little bit of like, oh my god, I told you guys he came and spoke at my school when I was in New Orleans, and I just thought he was just so cool.
You got that charm.
He has charm. I just thought he was so cool. But in hindsight, you see problems.
But in hindsight, yes, NAFTA. In hindsight, there was a problem, but during his administration, that wasn't. I mean, we boomed. It's not all his fault, or he doesn't get credit for it either, because you remember we went from a landline phone technology to cell phones and laptops. So in the entire world changed in about 9 years, and he just happened to be there as we all went, fuck this TV, I know flat screen TV, fuck this thing, I want a computer. So he did benefit from that. NAFTA was a problem, but I'm just saying that if you. So I went through it, and by the way, you guys can all back me up. Please give me the information. I thought we needed Reagan at the time. When I was a kid, Nixon had just fucking fucked everything up. And then Carter came in.
Do you remember that, or were you too little?
I was little. My dad bitched about him, but Carter is a great man. Carter is our Mother Teresa.
People didn't necessarily like him at the time.
Well, there was,
But now we're all like, oh, Habitat for Humanity.
Oh no, he's a good dude.
Good guy.
Yeah. Well, what happened was they tried to rescue all. It could have gone bad for Obama too.
He was handed a shit show.
He was handed a shit show after Nixon left, and then it got shittier.
And Obama.
And then it got shittier because the train doesn't stop, and it's a new train. It has to slow down. So and then everybody hated Carter, and then Reagan came in as this knowing how to work the media, and was like, and we spent so much money, and he put us in big debt, but we ended the Cold War, which is now back.
But wouldn't
so we got 30 years.
I guess I think about it like maybe what is it? Because I keep thinking about a lot of those past presidents. I would be fine with having on the other side of the ticket, instead of a Trump. DeSantis,
yeah.
Holy shit.
Right.
Marjorie Taylor Greene
Mo
type
Brooks,
people, Boebert, all
Gates.
of them, Josh Hawley, Jim Jordan, like any of those. But then I think, well, I guess none of them were that great either. I mean, you think about Clinton was putting a cigar in a 19, 20-year-old intern in the Oval Office. Like, But he still lied in court. He said, depends on what your definition of is. So that sucked too. So I guess really we've never had any good people. And
like he said,
I'm
Lincoln.
done here.
And Lincoln, but even Lincoln ignored his wife who
Although
had depression.
we only know like 14 things
her.
about Lincoln. Like, what else do we know? I mean, there was no
You know
information.
damn well.
He lost every election forever until he became
damn
president.
well that Lincoln
He had
many
a beard
times.
and a big hat. That's all we know.
That many times Lincoln left the house sitting with his coachman and went, this bitch. You know damn well. She just won't. About nothing. She's upset about nothing because they didn't even know what depression was really. She had the consumption, whatever they called it at the time. I don't know.
I'm wrong. We have no one to go back to. I guess I'm just more. I guess then they pretended to have an integrity. They at least were not sociopaths, so they knew that they needed to pretend to have integrity and honor and dignity.
That's the line.
And that's what we've lost.
Kennedy,
now people don't even pretend anymore.
Kennedy was a dog.
Yeah, I thought of him too.
Was a dog, but at the time
he put her in a tunnel. He didn't put it right in people's faces.
Right. He walked to the park and then the Secret Service spirited his ass
you.
away. Yes.
Walk naked with a fucking...
Thank you. Dignity.
But he also served, and and the people are going to get. I know the Kennedys. He was a moonshiner. He sold alcohol during Prohibition. Everybody came from a weird place. But Trump got $400 million from his dad, then lost it, declared back for 6 times, and they keep holding this guy as a savior. Listen, you know what I'd really love to have? I'd love to have everybody on the right just go, how about this guy? And have a guy that fucking gave me a record that I was like, I can't argue with. That's what I'd love.